Today it will be really very much focused on consulting, because this way we can make this the statements very sharp, and we will very much focus on the proposal excellence with the help of AI. Maybe for those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Pavol Sikula. I'm the founder and CEO of AskBrian, and I'm on a personal mission of building a working companion for management consultants. I would like to have myself for 15 years in consulting. I've been at Roland Berger and Stewart especially, and I'm building Brian with the help of AI since December 2017. So I basically know very well what I talk about. And we are working also with the GPT technology since 2021. So we have a kind of 1 year advantage in front of other startups dealing with this technology. So the agenda for our webinar today is, and basically it will be two big blocks. So half an hour of talking, and then maybe 10-15 minutes of discussing and answering your questions you might have. But we'll start with an introduction about AI in consulting with good forward, bad forward. I would like to bring some statements here with some examples. Then I'll tell you about the Brian story, which also started with a proposal, just a kind of quick overview of the background my experience comes from. Then we'll come to the actual core of the webinar with the AI assistance in the proposal process, when we will deep dive a little bit more on the topics which are tasks and approaches where AI can help you create proposals. And then we'll come to your questions, answers. So feel free, really, once again, to share your questions you might have during my presentation. So we'll have a cool discussion at the end of this webinar. So, but before we start, we like to get a feeling about your background, your experience, and it would be just great if you could turn on your camera on your mobile phone, because I assume you are dialing in with your notebook. And if you are using your notebook, please just scan the QR code and answer our two questions. The first question is, if you are already using ChatGPT or Brian to create proposals. We are asking it very concretely regarding GPT and Brian, because most of our visitors and people going to our webinars use ChatGPT, Brian, both, but sometimes also none, right? So we would like to understand what your background and experience with AI technologies is. This is the first question. And the second one is maybe also just to get your expectations, right? So what do you think when you will be able to create a proposal only by asking one question, or you could call it when you will be able to create one-click proposals? That means that you'll give only the topic of the proposal, like I need a proposal for net working capital reduction at Siemens with the goal of saving, I don't know, $500 million in cash. When do you think that this will be possible? With one question only, that it is possible today, and that I today tell you how to do it? Will it be possible in 1 year, maybe in 3 or 5 years, or never? Yeah, this would be very interesting to get an idea if what your expectation about this technology is. We'll come to this answer, or I try to answer this basic question also during this in course of this talk today. But it will be great to get your expectations. So we have already few votes in. So I would say I'll give you maybe few more seconds to vote. And I see in it was really 3. I hope this is not too confusing. That I see we have already few votes in, and I'll blend in the results. So the results are now flying in from my second window, second screen. And the answers to the first questions are the following. So most of you are using already ChatGPT to create proposals. Some Brian. The second most frequently answer was that you are using both, and we know that this is kind of a complementary offering with ChatGPT. I understand this, and 3 of you are not using ChatGPT or Brian to create proposals. Maybe this is because you are not creating proposals at all, or you just didn't use these technologies so far to do this exciting part of the entrepreneurial consulting journey. So very exciting, especially also the answers to the second question. And this is, when do you expect to create a proposal with one question only? And interestingly, that it's good that you don't, not too many of you expect that you can do it today, because I think I will not tell too much when I say this is not really possible yet. In 1 year is the most frequent expectation, in 3 years and never. So I'll come to the resolution what my opinion and why is, and based on 41 votes, I think it's a cool structure of your answers, and we'll come to this. Because I think as in many cases, the answer is it depends very much on multiple factors. So when talking about GPT and AI, we like to highlight some ideas and basic areas where AI can help you and where it cannot help you. I'm using partly GPT and AI as kind of synonym, which is not completely right, but in this context, I think it's completely fine. That means there are many use cases where the GPT technology, if you use it via Brian or ChatGPT, can help you to prepare your presentations, so you can get information about certain industries, topics, developments. You can really create hypotheses and some other aspects where the text-to-text use cases can be of help when you create proposals. But when we talk about proposals, it would not be really a text-to-text use case. It would be a use case where you provide some text and you expect a proposal as PowerPoint or Word document. This would be this case, or you share maybe the request for proposal, and the AI or the software, based on this request for proposal and maybe other documents and so on, creates a new proposal. So this would be, so to say, the highest level possible achievable, and we'll come to this in the third part of my presentation. What GPT is not good for, and this means also restrictions for the creation of proposals. It's not going at good at telling jokes. Usually you don't need to joke. So when you tell or create proposals, I like to mention this point because it explains a little bit how the technology is working. When GPT starts to write a joke, it doesn't know how it ends. And this is a problem in the jokes, that they are not fun. And this could be also a problem in case of proposals, because when it starts writing it, it cannot correct the previous part and needs just to keep on going. So and this could be also a problem for the proposals, that the punchline of the proposal could not be really a good one. What is also a big restriction when creating proposal with GPT is that you just cannot trust the numbers GPT provides. So there are also other tools like Brian, which has access also to structured data sources as an AI tool. But basically, when we talk about GPT and generative AI, I would say you cannot trust even one number. You can also not trust links and websites it proposes. It doesn't have actual information. It has some logical difficulties. It cannot handle files as of now, and it is not able to connect the dots. That means especially when it comes to create a proposal for a rather complex topic, what usually in case of management consulting projects is the case, it has difficulties to do the job, to consider all the parameters you want to have considered. So this is maybe basically as an entry point into the topic of GPT in consulting. I know we are talking with many management consultancies. Many are having running projects dealing with the question how AI can help them to improve the internal processes, and also a big portion of it how it can improve the proposal process, because we all know that in consulting you have 1 to 3 weeks time to prepare the best possible proposal, and the best one wins the ticket, which can be hundred thousands or millions of euros. So there is much in the skin in the game. So many consultancies have chosen different approaches to follow up this question, how they can use these latest technologies to create the proposals, and also how not to do it. And this would be my warning: when you use ChatGPT or generative AI, be aware of these shortcomings of the technology. So now we come a little bit to the Brian story. This also shows a basic approach we have chosen with Brian, that we combine multiple technologies to serve the consulting clients. And the Brian story, maybe some of you already heard this, but I find that it's not a coincidence that the starting point for creating Brian as the multifunctional digital assistant was preparation of a project proposal. We have been working on one for days. You are tired, you get perfect slides for as a case study for the backup, but in the wrong language. And then it was like, who can help me to translate the slides from one language into another? And the people are usually already very tired one day or one night before the handover of the proposal. And I think this is one of the examples where automate AI-powered translations made this part of the proposal process much smoother. It also means, for me, as a competitive advantage, if my consultants are not dealing with unnecessary tasks, they can invest more time and more brain power into really meaningful parts of the proposals, making really the difference. So I definitely believe that using the latest AI technologies makes the difference when winning projects. And as I said, the tickets are huge. So I think the interest in this topic should be really high, what we also see in the number of registrations for this event today. And the thing or the complexity is, which was there when we started working on Brian end of 2017, but also in all the years which came after this, is that there are so many technologies out there which have certain data sets or do kind of some tasks which could be used in when preparing a presentation or a proposal. And the approach at AskBrian is that we try to combine the most relevant ones, especially for management consultants, helping you to execute this project. Can I please ask you to get on mute? We have seen some voice in the background, so I can have a look from which direction it's coming. So I think it stopped right now. Okay. So this is the thing. So the complexity of the environment is very big. What I can also tell you is that then in August we will kind of share a more reduced version of this overview of all data services and digital providers being relevant for management consultants. We didn't want to dig into this much deeper, but here are the top 1,200 providers. We have created a list of top 3 in each category being relevant for consultants. So we'll probably also schedule a webinar for this particular topic about the top tools in consulting, but today the focus is a little bit different one. So basically the idea behind Brian, and driven also by the idea to have the perfect companion to create business proposals, was this one: to create one interface to external data and services, multifunctional, simple, powered by or available via email, Teams, always available, GDPR compliant and ISO 27001 certified. These 2 topics are especially a differentiator when it comes to using ChatGPT, because everything you ask ChatGPT goes to US. But when using Brian, we are using the servers in Europe. So I just wanted to warn you that if you should use ChatGPT, be aware not to share personal data or confidential information, because it goes through across the sea to the US. So not the case with Brian. So now we come, after this introduction, we come to the actual core of our webinar today, and this is about the AI assistance in the proposal process. And I didn't want to dig that much deeper, but rather to provide a kind of structured way how we assess the abilities of the AI assistants today in the proposal process. And we see basically 4 stages when it comes to supporting consultants in creating presentations. The first phase was there, I would say, until or before, maybe before end of 2022, where AI assistants, if it's Brian, if it's DeepL, if it's other tools, were able to conduct some support tasks or help you with individual tasks like translating documents, which I mentioned as a founding story of Brian, conducting research, also with AI capabilities, OCR used to convert maybe some scan documents and so on, so you can work with it in Excel and do your analysis for the proposals, to pimp up or ginger up your presentations with images, analyzing data, and so on. So there were more support tasks, which were really individual tasks, which you would usually ask probably an intern or working student to perform. The generative AI, and this is the second step, which this is the phase in which we are today, is that the latest technologies can really help you to generate the key content of your proposal. Of course, it very much depends what your proposal is about and how structured it is and how often you do this. But with the generative AI, we have completely different possibilities which can help you to develop your proposal much faster and much smarter. I think the most important one of the things which are making this clear very much is, for example, when it comes to project proposals, it is about also providing some solutions to clients' problems. And this is kind of core competency of consultants. And if you are using already GPT, as we have seen before, or if you are using Brian, then building hypotheses what the solution to clients' problems could be, this is a very fundamental part of the job. And of course, you can rely on your experts, on external experts, but now you have the option really with the generative AI to get help from AI, and this is on the level of super experienced expert. Of course, you need always to check and validate, but it can send you in a certain direction. And with this hypothesis, which you ask AI to generate in any field, you can be stronger than and have a more smart proposal than others. Of course, it can draft also your bullets. You can brainstorm ideas. It can help you to draft the structure of the proposals, understand the key challenges. And also one of the smaller things is maybe, but I know that from my own experience, sometimes you are adjusting the CVs of your team members for a project, depending on for which project you pitch. And I know this can be super annoying, adjusting the CVs of 5 to 10 colleagues in a certain direction, of course, given the background of the people, but you can always rephrase CVs in a certain direction. And this is what is one of the examples how AI can help you to customize your proposal and to make the point clear that you have also the right team to conduct the project. So I think we are somewhere here before the stage 3 and stage 4. Stage 3, I would say, is that you really would provide some content, especially the request for proposal, and then you would get a proposal draft, right? So you would not need to do all these individual tasks and so on, and it was probably would be a dream for many. To just deliver the RFP, maybe some additional information, access to your data, to external data, and ask the AI system to create your proposal. I would say that this is already possible, but with a big question mark and but, because it's of course not possible for too many project kinds. And I will show you one example, a simple example, how it could work already today for certain kind of projects. And this draft of proposal, like in the stage 3, would be possible also for real consulting projects when you have projects which are always following the same structure. I would assume that especially larger consulting houses, which are doing many times a similar project. I don't know, it could be a due diligence, or it could be footprint analysis, or outsourcing strategy. This could really follow a certain structure where you could really, just by providing the RFP, and if the structure of the slides and contents are almost the same in multiple cases, it would be possible to build a custom AI integration within days, I would assume, which would help you to draft these proposals. I'll show you one example how we create our proposals at AskBrian, as AskBrian for our clients. Of course, this is not a consulting project, but it shows that in a certain way, this is possible already today to automatically draft a proposal. So, and then the dream, the one-click proposal, and this was also our question at the beginning of the webinar, is if there will be a time that we just create one-click proposal, that with one click, with one piece of information, you create an fully automatically send a proposal. I would say when it comes to consulting projects, this is not gonna be case not ever. So in a regular management consulting, but for many other spheres where it's not just quantitative but also qualitative content, this is gonna be possible. But I would be very skeptical about this to happen in real management consulting projects. So now I would like to show you something, and I think this will be very hands-on, even if the example is a very simple one. And it's a look into our kitchen, so how we use AI to generate our proposals. But I know consultancy, of course, very well after 15 years, and I can imagine for certain kind of projects also this kind of approach to create proposals in a semi-automated way. So what I'll do now, I'm switching my screen into the playground from OpenAI. I don't know how many of you know it, but there is a web interface. If many of you probably use ChatGPT as the customer consumer product, where you have the chat window and then you start chatting and do stuff. In this case, you cannot really train something, adjust settings and so on. But OpenAI has also the so-called playground. This is open for anyone, and if you invest some few euros or dollars, you can play around in this playground with the AI technology, and you can teach the tool new tricks. And I thought it would be a good idea to show you how we did it, and how we enable the AI technology to create proposals for us, at least the written part of it. So as I said, this is a part of OpenAI. This is how you can test the implementations. You can set up here many settings. For example, how creative the system should be. This is called temperature. So as of now, the temperature is 97%. That means it's very creative. If you set the temperature to 0, it will be very boring, right? So this is basically how the setup looks and works. And what we have done, we have here a model. We have multiple models. What we do with the GPT technology as specific use cases is to create offers for our proposals. So what we have done is we have customized it in a way that we say, please act the sales back office assistant formulating crisp offers to our prospects and clients. We are selling a digital assistant called Brian. We have multiple pricing options. Then I explain the pricing options. Then it's the option 1, option 2, option 3, and then you share a few examples based on some cornerstones, the input, like which company. These are just fake examples, okay? So it's not real data. So based on some examples, we train the system. If this is the cornerstones, the offer should look like this. Okay, so it's coming always in a certain structure. So there is kind of intro, the service, the communication support, the price, the remarks, and so on. And then there is a second example and third example. And based on this training with 3 examples, now the AI system knows how you write your proposal. So for example, now we can just enter only the core information, like which skills should be covered, which the clients wants, how many licenses are required, which domain should be provided access to, how many onboarding sessions we are going to offer, what are the special remarks about the proposal, and also in which language the offer should be written. So this is kind of collecting some structured information, and based on these 6 pieces of information, now we just can ask AI to write this offer in Spanish based on the examples and cornerstones above. So this is only showing, of course, the text part of it. Okay, so it is following exactly the same structure and provides a proposal in a similar way as it was written in the examples above. And what you see, it's really sticking to the structure. And what you see here as a free text, this is also something you could, of course, get in PowerPoint, in Word, and so on. And this is, I would say, a very simple example how an automated proposal could look like. And of course, super simple, but the AI technology, I would guess, can handle currently maybe 10 or 20 times more higher complexity than this super simple example, how we can write our offer to our clients. And as I said, converting this content into PowerPoint is a second task, but technically more complicated. So that means this just shows that if you have a certain structure of your proposals and they are following always certain pattern based on similar input data, you can already today get a fully automated proposal draft for your clients, which of course accelerates your processes. But if you would ask me, would I just blindly trust AI and send out this proposal to our client? No, I would always check. Yeah. So we are here in the stage 2, but I think the stage 4, especially for this kind of super structured use cases, it's already, as you see, it's a thing which is real already today. So this was some insights regarding the using of AI in creating proposals. And now I hope you have some questions. I think time-wise we are just perfect. We have 14 minutes left to answer your questions, and I hope this was insightful, helpful, especially the concrete example how this could work and how you could turn this also into your practice. And yeah, now I hope we have some questions, and I'm happy to answer any.